When people are such big fans of professional sports, I think a big part of it is you take so much pride in rooting for like a specific team, the team that is your home team, from your city.
Hey guys, this is Elijah Vargas from the Gold Soul Podcast. Can you introduce yourself?
My name is Riley Shane. I'm a Creighton freshman from Minnesota.
Hell yeah, dude. How's your second semester going so far?
It's been good, man. I enjoy my classes. I feel like this semester compared to last semester has been a lot more homework heavy, but I don't mind it. Like, I kind of enjoy having something to do after classes and during my free time, and some of the classes are actually really interesting to me, so I don't mind it too much.
That's pretty good, bro.
Yeah.
So what classes do you actually have that like you're enjoying so far?
I'm in a class called Music Appreciation, and it's pretty much what it sounds like. You just kind of listen to a ton of music, and the teacher will break down songs and the history of it. And I'm a big music nerd, so it's right up my alley. And we have exams that are called listening exams, and it's pretty much you listen to a song and you just have to guess who the artist is and what the song is called. It's literally like, it's awesome. Like, it's just trivia. So it's a blast, and I'm enjoying that so far. And then also English. I like English personally just because I really like writing, and I like reading too, so I enjoy it.
Who do you have for English?
Professor Silkman.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. No, that music class sounds like fun though.
Yeah.
Is it all like one genre, or is it just like I don't know? Is it all like fit into one, or is it like spread out?
It's everything. Like, right now, since we're still early in the semester, we're going like way back, like years and years and years ago. But he told us, like, as the class progresses, we're going to get more into like more modern music and talk about different genres, pop, rock, country, rap. Like, we're going to get everywhere. And so I'm really looking forward to getting more closer to our time, because I'm much more knowledgeable about that, and I think it'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, for sure. That's really cool. I want to ask you a few questions about that later too.
All right, sweet.
So I want to cover your background. As many people know, like, I like to cover people's backgrounds in the podcast, so people know, like, people that are watching know why I'm talking to this person, and maybe like some of their points in the future, they understand why they have those points. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we have a solid background and base. Where did you grow up?
I grew up in a city called Edina, in Minnesota. It's a suburb of Minneapolis, St. Paul, the Twin Cities. So I grew up there majority of my life. That's where I went to school, and it was great. I loved it. I love Minnesota. I love the Midwest. We're in Omaha, and I know people have mixed opinions about it, but I enjoy having like all 4 seasons and having like bad winters. I think it builds character and it really develops you. So I personally really enjoy it.
It's pretty dope, bro. Yeah, growing up in like suburbs of Chicago, we always had like all 4 seasons. I don't think winter ever got too bad. It did snow a bunch.
Yeah.
But it didn't get like this winter was pretty bad. This winter was really bad.
Yeah,
So,
negative.
Is it common in Edina to be like that with really really cold weather?
Yeah, it's Minnesota notorious for being extremely cold, but I think a couple weeks ago we had really cold temperature here, and that's not very common. It's like negative 20, 30. It was dangerous, like it was scary. So it doesn't always get that cold, but it can get when it comes to the snow specifically, it can get very snowy, and driving is terrible, like super icy. I'm very thankful I don't have a car on campus, because I was able to avoid that this year.
For sure, bro. I probably honestly wouldn't even drive, dude. I know my roommate was like that. He had the option to go home, because he lives here.
Okay.
So he had the option to go home and like stay the weekend at home, and he's like, nah.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna stay here, not drive, just chill out, you know?
Yeah, and like back home when I would drive in the cold temperature, it sucked when you would get into your car and you were just freezing and you were trying to warm up and you're waiting for the car to warm up, stuff like that. Like, I'm thankful I don't have to go through any of that right now, like enjoying it while I can.
For sure, bro. Okay, so what would you say like your hometown was like? I know you mentioned it a little bit, but like was it like quiet, or was it like there was a lot of stuff going on? What was your hometown like?
Yeah, my hometown, it was a suburb, so it was a pretty nice city. We had different parts to it. I grew up going through the public school system, so it was a very big school that I went to, my high school, my graduating class was like 750 kids. So I'm used to like that kind of environment, being around like a ton of moving parts. But when it comes to like the community, sports are extremely popular. You know, like our programs are very strong, but then we also have very strong like musical programs, and there's a lot that goes into, you know, the school, especially the public school system. I think, you know, the community really comes together, and there's a lot of, you know, good money, and a lot of the people from my city, you know, come from money. It's a nicer area, so I'm blessed to have grown up in it. It was safe and just as good as I could ask for it, to be honest.
Yeah. What I like about for me in like public schools, I know you said you had like 750.
Yeah.
I think mine was somewhere around that. I think, but it allows you to have like a good network of people with different interests, and I don't know if that's exactly the same with private schools, but I could say like I have friends that went military, friends that went to the trades, and like friends that are doing like in business right now, and so like everywhere.
Yeah.
It's such a cool thing to like think about, that you have like all these people that you know, and you have like this network.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Dude, yeah, I completely agree. And I think a big part of public too is we had a ton of kids come from, not just from my city, you know, we had kids drawn in from different areas, kind of open enroll because the school system was strong. So I got to meet kids that were from, you know, different parts of Minneapolis or different cities neighboring around us, which was dope because they have different stories and different backgrounds. It's not all the same, which I enjoyed.
For sure, bro. Yeah, I love that, honestly. That also helps with my podcast too, because the more kids I know, the more like kids I know, the more interesting people I can get on the podcast. To talk to, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So what kind of hobbies did you enjoy when you were younger?
So when I was younger, so my parents, they didn't let me play video games as a kid. So a lot of my time, you know, they would just kind of throw me outside. And I come from a big family. I have 5 siblings. So, you know, growing up in a big household, I just had a ton of just friends, you know, all my siblings, that we were able just to do a ton of stuff together. We're all pretty close in age. So a lot of my childhood was spent outside, and that eventually led me to just enjoy like sports. Like I didn't really excel too high in anything. Like I wasn't like, you know, captain of varsity or anything like that, but I just loved playing it for fun, playing pickup at the park, you know, basketball, soccer. Hockey is huge in Minnesota, so I always played hockey, and just doing anything. And, you know, even just like random stuff like kickball and tag with the neighborhood kids. That was just a huge part of my childhood when I think about that. But then on like specific interests, I've always loved writing. That was always a big thing for me as a kid. Like I love to just write personal narratives and stories. I went through a huge like comic phase where I was just writing comics and doing that. And then I eventually turned that into writing little stories, and I was writing random screenplays and stuff. I just loved like creating different universes, and so anything creative really was like up my alley. Like I just liked having that creative control and creating fake characters and stories and different things like that. And off of that, I've loved movies and like TV shows, and then music has always been huge for me. I come from a big music loving family, and so I was exposed to all different kinds of genres as a kid, and that's just been a big part of my life. So
that's really cool. Yeah. I know, because like we obviously, for those that don't know, I hang out with his friend group a lot, and we always have lunch, or like it's some random meal.
Yeah.
And it's normally like later hours of lunch, and there's like no one there, and we're just chilling, talking about like random stuff, the most niche topics.
Yeah.
And I swear, when it comes to music or when it comes to TV shows, you have like, I swear, like, I could be talking about something and you know you're following exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And I find that so funny. There's not many people that know, like, I don't know, like certain rappers or certain songs by those rappers, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. I always found that like pretty interesting.
Yeah. No, I'm a total nerd. Like that's totally up my alley. If we get into a convo about music, I'm gonna be extremely opinionated, and it's a good time though.
Yeah. I honestly, yeah. It's always fun to talk, bro.
Yeah.
So, what kind of, so I know you mentioned that you did sports.
Yeah.
You know, I want to ask, like, what sports and activities did you do in high school?
Yeah, so in high school, I played soccer for a couple years, and then I played hockey I didn't play for my high school though. I played for club hockey. It was called Junior Gold, and that was just through the city organization, and it was just it was less serious. And I played with a ton of my buddies, and I honestly wasn't good enough to play for my high school, so I just played through that club, which was a lot of fun. And then I ran track in the springtime. I was a hurdler, which was fun.
Oh yeah, bro. When you went back for winter break, did you play hockey at all, or?
Dude, I wanted to, but the weather was so weird. It was not like over winter break. It was not cold. Like it was a lot warmer than it should have been. And that it's funny looking back at that, because when we came back to school, it was like extremely cold here. But over winter break, it was not. So I didn't play any hockey. I played a little bit just like in my driveway with my little sister, but I didn't like go skating, because usually I would go to the outdoor parks that they like flood in the wintertime. But it wasn't cold enough to do that this year, so I couldn't do it, unfortunately. But I hope over the summertime I can play in some like beer league or something indoors.
Yeah, for
something
sure,
like that.
for sure. Yeah, it was similar in like my area. It was like, honestly, dude, I think Christmas it was like 40 degrees, and honestly, I'm not complaining. I like that too.
Yeah.
I don't like freezing. I don't like getting cold.
Yeah.
Wearing a hoodie's enough for me.
Dude,
I'm happy.
I completely get that. I'm not a big jacket guy, so I feel that.
So what would you say? What do you miss about high school, and what's like your favorite high school memory?
Okay, I would say when it comes to what I miss about high school, I definitely miss, the people, a lot of my friends there. It's weird, growing up alongside people for years and then coming to school and not seeing them for a long time. And, they know so much about you, and they have, been inside your house and done all these different things. And there's a beauty in that. There's a beauty in having college friends, and there's a beauty in having, childhood friends. So that's definitely something that I miss, is just kind of seeing those people regularly. But it's a part of life, I think. It's part of growing up. And then I would say just like high school, just like the vibe of it is weird, but I kind of miss parts of it. Like I miss kind of having, being in one building with everybody and seeing the same people every day and walking down the hallway and just seeing random stuff. You don't really get that in college because everyone's on their own time and there are different buildings for everything. I kind of miss being in that confined space alongside everybody, because that's something you don't really ever experience again in your life. It's just, after high school, it's just different. And so I like college having all that, free time, and it's all independent, but it was fun in high school to have that weird kind of vibe to it. You know what I'm saying?
Is that called like being institutionalized? That's what I'm thinking of. But yeah, it's the same with me, dude. I feel like high school was really wild.
Yeah.
Lots of like random shit going on everywhere, and like your friends and shit.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like that's what I miss. I miss like just the random things going on and being like, oh yeah, dude, did you see the fight yesterday? Yeah, bro. Yeah, dude, that was crazy.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Dude, yeah, just like seeing random weird stuff because bro, in high school, people, there were some like reckless people, you know what I mean? Like we had to be there, whereas in college, everyone wants to be here. You know what I'm saying? Like college is much more of a choice, whereas high school, it's like you got to go. And so a lot of the time, people in high school were just like screwing around, and I miss that energy. That's something, you walk into the bathroom and you see people having like a rap battle or something.
Yeah.
You don't really get that in college, so.
Cutting hair now.
Yeah, I don't know what that's all about, but it's dope.
Wild, bro.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So is there any kids from your high school that went to Creighton?
Yeah, there are like 6 or 7 kids from my high school that go here. Yeah, there's a decent amount. I mean, Minnesota, there are a lot of Minnesotans here at this school. But yeah, especially coming from a public school, it's definitely a little rare for that many kids to go to a small Jesuit school in Omaha, but it happened, and it's dope. They're all people they're all great people, and I always love seeing them around and saying hi to them. There's a comfort in that for sure.
Yeah, that's dope, dude.
Yeah.
What made you choose Creighton though? Do they all I want to ask do all the kids that came with you here, are they all kind of like studying the same stuff, or are you different? Like what are you studying?
So I don't really know exactly what I'm studying yet. I'm currently in the arts and sciences school, but I'm thinking of going into business, doing something like that. I think there's more there that I'm interested in. But for all the other kids, there's a kid who's studying nursing, and then there's a couple kids doing some business, and then I think there's some exercise science. So it's kind of scattered around. But I think when I've spoken to them, and they've all had similar reasons why they came here, there's a good vibe to this school, and there's a personable feeling, I think. They really care about you as an individual, which is really special. And then also, it's not too small, but it's not too big. It's got that good equilibrium, I think. It's a nice size. And then for me personally, like why I came here, I had a really hard time kind of narrowing down exactly where I wanted to go. I had all these different schools in mind and different places. I knew I wanted to go somewhere that was on the smaller side. I didn't want to go somewhere huge. And so when I was trying to figure it out, I came to an admitted student day, which was special. Like I really had a good experience at mine, and I just really liked the vibes. I liked, my tour guide was wonderful, and everyone was super helpful, and the experiences that they were talking about, sharing stories, it seemed like I could really see myself at the school. And then when I was talking to all these people back home, they always had a connection to the school. Someone would be like, oh, my brother's best friend goes there, like my younger sister, like her blah 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 goes there, my teacher, whatever. Like all these people were having some kind of connection, and it was always a positive. They were always saying like, oh, that I've heard just great things about that school, or they loved to go in that school, or I loved going to that school. So after hearing all that and people saying things, I really just felt like, I should go here. And so on, like the day I had to decide, like April 30th or May 1st, whatever, I was like, I'm just gonna go here. And so it was a process, but I think I made the right choice.
That's good to hear, bro.
Yeah.
I want to bring it back because I know, like, when I tell people that I go to Creighton and that it's in Omaha, Nebraska, the first thing I hear, cornfields. Oh, you're gonna get corn huskers.
Yeah.
Like, I get so tired of hearing that.
Dude.
And it's everyone, bro.
Bro, I swear. It's different, though. Like, Creighton's not, it's its own little bubble. We're kind of in our own little world, I think. I think a lot of colleges are like that way, but, Creighton's so integrated into Omaha, which is a bigger city, but I still feel like we have our own thing going on. I don't walk down the mall thinking like, oh, I'm in the middle of a big city right now. It doesn't feel that way.
Honestly, I think we're just enough in the city that it feels like we're in the city, but we're not really.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing is we never see cornfields, dude.
No.
Like, honestly, I don't think seeing cornfields is coming here.
Yeah.
From where, like, through Iowa and then getting here, because I know that's where I live. I live in Illinois, so driving through Iowa is how I get here.
Yeah.
It's probably the same from, like, any direction.
Yeah, no.
To be honest. But, yeah, that's just the notion that everybody gets is like, oh, you mean Cornhusker, you like corn. Like, oh. Dude,
it's not that way at all. Like, we're in a city, it's and I like Omaha as a city. It's like, it's not too loud, it's pretty quiet, and I like walking down to the old market, and they have good food. I feel like there's a good vibe to it. Like, we're not in the middle of nowhere, people. So
for sure, dude. Me, Aaron, and Miguel took a walk. Dude, it was like yesterday. It was like 30 degrees.
Yeah.
We took a walk all the way to Old Market just to go to Spaghetti Works.
Dude.
Just to get some food, dude.
Spaghetti Works is good.
Yeah, it was good, dude. Like, it was worth it.
Yeah.
I was just getting tired of Brandeis. Not to hate on Brandeis, but I was getting, dude.
You got to switch it up.
I had to switch it up. I had, like, Brandeis for 3 weeks in a row.
I'm
a little tired of this, low key.
Bro, I've had enough chicken sandwiches. I got to try something new.
Yeah,
I feel that.
For sure, bro. So, you haven't declared your major yet, I'm guessing, because you're thinking about business, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Have you started taking classes for business or no?
I haven't yet. I'm just taking like all the, the ones I have to take, kind of.
Like the Modus Core.
Yeah, math and English and philosophy, theology, all those. I'm just kind of knocking those out. But I've met with the Career Center a couple times and met with my advisor and just kind of talked to him. And I've taken those tests where it's like, what kind of career could you do, kind of a thing. And I've seen like marketing is pretty high up there. And I just think business in general, there's a lot more that interests me in that area. And so I think at the end of this semester, I'll try to see what I can do and take some business classes sophomore year and just go from there. But I like how Creighton has it where you have time to figure it out. You know, you don't have to jump right into something.
For sure, bro. For me, I'm doing this because I'm also like interested in business as well.
Yeah.
I'm doing a criminal justice major, but there's this thing in the College of Arts and Sciences that my advisor was talking about. It's called a business certificate. And with a business certificate, it's like 30 hours of business classes, so you get 30 credits.
Yeah.
And you just like put it on your resume. It's like, oh, I have 30 hours of like business classes, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, it's supposed to be better than just like, I forgot what the other options are, but if I were to double major in business, I would have had to take like way more classes, and it wouldn't have been like realistic at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was kind of late to decide, but basically I chose the business certificate because it would have been, I wouldn't have had to dedicate like everything to going to business, you know what I mean?
And just be like overwhelmed with classes too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And plus I still get to stay in the College of Arts and Sciences.
Yeah, right.
And the other thing is with the certificate is it's vague enough to be just business.
Yeah.
Like it's not business management, it's not accounting, it's not like finances or whatever the other ones are. Just plain business. Yeah. Which I mean I kind of like.
Yeah. No, that like looks good too. I think that really widens opportunities for you too. Like,
yeah, it definitely does. So I would recommend checking that out if you want. Because I know you said that I think you're in the business, or you're in the College of Arts and Sciences, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, you can do it through there. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
So my advisor is lying, but I think I trust her. So.
All right. Thanks for letting me know, man. I'll look into it.
For sure, bro. So what things do you like about Creighton so far?
Whew.
I know we covered a little bit, but.
Yeah. For starters, I would say my professors have been good. I've lucked out. You know, I've heard people say certain things about certain professors, but on my end, I've had a good experience with all of them. I think that they're down-to-earth people. And, you know, coming from high school, I feel like professors, they went to all this extra schooling to teach, and I think that makes them so much more passionate about what they're talking about, and that makes the classroom experience a lot more fun, and you want to be more invested into it because they're so into it. And I think that's been a big part of what I've enjoyed here is just having a teacher that's like, you know, super into what they're talking about, where you're like, okay, I kind of want to be invested into it. Like, I didn't think I would be this interested in philosophy, but here we are, type of thing.
Yeah.
And so I think that's been a big plus for me. And I think you could kind of get that anywhere, but at least at my experience so far at Creighton, it's been good with who I've had. So I would say that's a big part. And then, you know, people, I really like a lot of the people here, the people that I've been able to meet. Like, I think, you know, our crew hanging out in the Deg basement.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
The boys are dope, and it's a good community down there. And everyone's just super nice. And I think a lot of people here are from the Midwest, so we all come from, like, you know, similar experiences and have that commonality. But we also come from, you know, you're from, like, Chicago area. I'm from Minnesota, so we still have our differences, and we can learn from each other. And I think that's, like, really dope. You know, you don't get that back home because you're all from the same place. But in college, you get to integrate and meet new people, which has been fun.
Yeah, I like that a lot, too. So I know that you're part of, like, the Deglman government, is it?
Yeah.
I don't know what, like, the word is for that, but aside from that, like, what clubs have you joined? And also, what is your position in that? I know I've asked you before, but I just want, like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah. So for the student government, it's called IRHG, and I am the senator for Deglman Hall. So there's, like, the president, vice president, senator, and, like, service and faith representative. And we meet, like, once a week with just the Deglman group, and then we meet once a week with everybody part of it. You know, the people for Swanson, the people for Graves, the people for the sophomore halls, that kind of a stuff.
Where do you guys meet?
We meet in, you know, like that big, like, auditorium in Hickson Lead on, like, the general floor. That's where we meet for, like, the general. And then for Deg, we meet in, like, the little study room in the basement and just talk and just kind of come up with different ideas, you know, plan different parties, little things like that. And it's a good time. You know, I like everybody a part of it. They're all great people, and it's been fun so far. And then for other things I'm a part of, I just applied for like a service group through like the SCSJ, and I'm gonna be working with like kids in like the Omaha school area, which I'm really looking forward to. And then I'm part of Best Buddies, which is a fun program, and we get to do fun little events here and there. And then I play Ultimate Frisbee, too. I'm on the Ultimate Frisbee team, which has been dope. I haven't really ever played it my whole life, and I wanted to just try something, like, completely different. So I signed my name up at the Scut Shutdown, and I've been showing up. I'm not great, but the people are awesome, and it's been a ton of fun so far, so I enjoy it.
You said Ultimate Frisbee?
Yeah.
I think my roommate's in that.
Who's your roommate?
Matt Sempeg.
Matt.
He was on a previous episode. He was on the one with Marco.
Okay.
James.
Yeah. I think I know what you're talking about.
He's a cool guy. He's really funny too.
Dope.
But yeah, I think it's really important to like join clubs to get to know people and like the interests that you had before, and also to like find new interests and stuff. You know what I mean?
Dude, yeah.
Especially like you said, Ultimate Frisbee. Not many people play it. So,
Yeah.
Like. That's something where you find something that you like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like pickleball, dude. I never knew I liked pickleball. I didn't even know it was a thing.
Yeah. Dude, it's dope how many different little clubs and organizations they have, and none of it's like required. You can just show up whenever you want, and I don't feel as guilty like if I have to miss one or something here and there. Like, it's nice to just have so many options. Like, I signed up for salsa dancing. I went to like the first 2 meetings. I haven't gone since, but I was like, I got to meet people through it. Like,
Yeah.
it was an experience. So.
Those are people to wave at when you walk by them, bro.
Dude, yeah, you feel good. It's like I know somebody.
Yeah, I know somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, like, bro, Quidditch. Like, they're quad too,
quad
right?
ball or whatever.
I honestly never knew that was gonna be. Well, number one, I've never read Harry Potter, so I didn't know what it was when I first heard about it.
Yeah, sure.
And then the second part is like it came from a book, and then it became like an actual sport. Like that's something so hard for me to wrap my head around.
Dude, we're like the #1 team in the nation too. I think it's crazy.
It's so crazy. I can't believe other schools also have it.
They're playing Harvard today. I think that's crazy. I would never thought that.
It's like the Raz, I think, right?
Yeah, something like that. I want to watch quad ball sometime. Yeah. Like, that seems very interesting. Do they wear broom or hold broomsticks? Like,
I don't know. They have to, right? Isn't that part of the game?
I think that's part of it. I don't know. I want to see it, man. I'm curious. That's dope. It's dope.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So I know you said like you meet with like the people from Deglman Hall, right?
Yeah.
What do you like about Deglman Hall so far?
Ooh. Okay. People have very mixed opinions about Deglman. Dirty Deg, as some like to say. Personally, this is extremely hot take. I enjoy living in Deg, man. I think, it has its flaws. It's older. It's compared to the other halls on campus, it's not great, but there's a great community of people. Like, I've met so many wonderful people that live in Deg, and it's just because we live in Deg, like in the basement, even last night, like, Landon was like making ribs and stuff like that, and everyone was just kind of hanging out. Ping pong is like brings a ton of people together, and there's people watching movies, karaoke, all that kind of stuff. There's just like, it's so easy to meet people in Deg because there's not that many of us, and so my RA said we're gonna trauma bond together, which I think was funny. But in a way, it's just like, when I meet somebody that lives in Deg, I immediately have that respect for them, just kind of saying like, yo, like, we're in this together type of thing. But it's it's a good time. I think the bathrooms can get gross at times for sure, and showers aren't amazing, but it's the way it is. It builds character, I think, and I don't mind it. No.
For sure, bro. Like, I always hang out there. I don't live there, but I like the perks of it because like all my friends live there. I get to hang out. It's almost like I live there, but I don't.
Yeah.
I get that's what people say. Like, Elijah, you get all the perks without living there. Yeah, dude, that's true because.
Dude, it's quiet. Like, the basement is quiet typically.
It
so.
Is nobody, like, especially, dude, if you go down there at like 2 p.m.
Yeah.
There's 0 people.
Nobody. Yeah.
I'd go there like in between classes just to study, get stuff done.
Yeah.
And it's pitch quiet, There's no one there.
Yeah, dude, sometimes you'll get someone like playing the piano, I think,
Yeah.
every now and then I'll walk down, but it's like that's nice, you know what I mean? Like,
It's wholesome, bro.
yeah,
It's the whole aura is like wholesome as hell.
super wholesome. And I think it's cool too because I feel like down the line, when we're like seniors, we're gonna look back and be like, yo, like we lived in Deg, or we used to hang out in Deg together. Like, that's special, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
not everybody can say that. Only like 100 some people can really say that, which is dope.
I mean, it comes in graves though. I'd just be able to say, dude, we were the first class to live in graves.
That's true. Yeah, you guys got
That's
it.
the
Yeah.
one thing we get to say.
That's nice though.
Aside from that, it's like, yeah, we had to walk all the way to Dowling, all the way to Hicks and Lead.
Graves was nice until it hit negative temperature, and
Yeah,
then you
that
got to
was
walk to Epley.
Such a pain, dude.
Yeah.
And I wore a jacket like maybe 2 days, and then after that, I'm like, I don't want to keep walking around with this big ass jacket.
Yeah.
Dude, that whole period of time, I was just wearing a hoodie.
Oh, yeah.
Even when it was like -20. 'Cause
That's crazy, dude.
For me, dude, if my hands are cold, I'm cold. But once I figured out that I can just put my hands in my pockets and leave them in there and not take them out, I'm chilling.
Power move.
It was crazy. It felt like a superpower. I'm like looking at everyone with like huge coats and like boots and like
Yeah, dude.
all this stuff. I'm just wearing my little hoodie, like some
Yeah.
Nike hoodie.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Dude, it would take a lot for me to put on some boots, I think. Like, even when it was snowy, I was like, man, I got to wear my kicks. Like, I'm not trying to ruin the style by throwing on some boots. But, yeah.
Yeah, I got some pretty nice Nike ones I found on like Amazon.
Mm.
Cam was showing me, like, cause he had some, and he was like, yeah, dude, they're really nice and fit, like, perfect. They're comfortable and all this. I'm like, damn, dude, I might get some. I wore them a few times,
Yeah.
and I will say they do look cool.
Okay.
I will say that.
I guess it's the right
I
kind
think
of
it's
boot,
also
yeah.
because it's Nike.
Yeah.
So, like, it has to look cool. You know what I mean?
I guess it's all about the right kind of boot, you know what I'm
for
saying?
sure. Oh yeah, I know you said that like ping pong is one of the things that like brings people together, especially in the Deglman basement.
Mm-hmm.
So when did you start playing ping pong, and was it like partially down there?
It started down there. I mean, I played a little bit back home. One of my good friends back home had a ping pong table, or has one, and we would just play it a bunch. So I've always loved it. But I would say, like, for the first, like, month or 2 months, I did not go down in that basement at all. I went, like, a couple times if they had, like, some kind of, party going on, or, like, a barbecue or karaoke or something. But other than that, I was only down in that basement for laundry, and I would just get out of there. But then, like, I think it was my roommate, Justin, and I, one time, I think we were just like, you want to go play some ping pong? And we just went down there, and we're playing a little bit, and then there were just some more people down there. Like, Sam was down there once, like Crispin. I met Crispin down there, and just, like, people started showing up, like Kenton and then Michael. Like, people just started, like, kind of coming. I think people were, like, doing laundry, and they would see people playing ping pong, and they would just show up and be like, yo, can I play? And eventually it just became this big thing, and now we have this group chat, like Deglman Ping Pong, where people are, like, saying, yo, anyone want to play right now? And it's not even just about, like, going down there to play ping pong. We all just kind of, like, hang out, you know what I mean? Like, last night we were just kind of talking and writing on the whiteboard. Yeah, like, and, like, you and Victor come, and you guys aren't even, like, in Deg. Like, it's just, like, we're all just kind of hanging out. It's dope.
It's a lot of fun, honestly, because, yeah, when you're playing, you get to just talk about your day, talk about, like, random stuff, dude.
Yeah.
Me and Miguel would get into, like, deep conversations. We're just playing ping pong.
Yeah, dude.
Kick a ball back and forth. It's crazy.
You just, like, become like a bot. You just kind of swing it back and forth or whatever, and but you just start talking about stuff, and it's very peaceful. It's relaxing.
Yeah, honestly, like, I know you. I think you said that you ran in high school. It's kind of like a similar thing, because I know I don't know if you ran long distance, but when you run long distance with somebody else, you guys get into, like, deep conversations.
Yeah.
You just talking back and forth, heading the same direction, because, like, it's a shared thing. You're both doing the same thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you're not doing something too complicated, I think, like, and you're doing it with somebody else, you just want to talk and chop it up just as a way to pass the time, and then, one thing just leads to another, and the next thing you know, you're talking about life, and it's, like, super, it's cool. I like it.
It's a lot of fun, honestly.
Yeah.
I never thought I'd get into ping fuck are you like, good at like actually be a good ping pong player? I don't know.
Dude, I've gotten a lot better since I got here. I will say that. But it took a lot of hours. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Like.
Same here, bro. Me and Miguel, we go at it like all the time.
Oh
like,
yeah.
Always playing.
Dude.
It's a lot of fun though.
He is fun to play against. Whenever I play him, it is close.
Really competitive. if you win, he'll play you again.
Yeah, dude. It can get scary. I'm not gonna lie, but it's a blast.
Yeah.
It's a blast.
Who do you think is like the best ping pong player at Dake?
Kenton.
Kenton?
I've never played Kenton like a real game, to be honest.
Yeah.
We just rally, but that spin move he has, you know what I'm talking about? I've never seen anything like that in my life. I don't know where that came from. Like, I've asked him, I've been like, did you do like a league or something back home? He's like, nah, I just kind of played a little bit. I'm like, that's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. That's for just a little bit. Dude, for those that don't know, the way that he plays, he grabs like the ping pong, like the paddle. I don't have like anything. Like, he grabs it with like 3 fingers, kind of.
Yeah.
Just like swats it.
Yeah,
but the way that he hits it is he like brushes, he like combs its hair.
Yeah.
Like the top of it. He touches like the top of
Yeah.
it and swats it, and then it like comes at an angle and bounces the wrong direction.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
Goes the other way. It's the worst. I hate playing him because it's like it just pisses me off. But he's good. I can't hate him for it.
Good.
So.
I would probably say him too. I think Miguel's up there. Crispin's definitely up there.
Yeah, Crispin's got that tennis experience, so
Yeah.
he knows how to play. Like,
For sure, dude.
yeah, he's got that.
But yeah, dude, I just like going down there, just like rallying with random people.
Yeah.
Whoever's down there.
Yeah, just if someone's playing, it's like, yo, you wanna just hit back and forth? Like, it's fun.
For sure, dude. So where do you think you want to live next year?
Oof. I still got to tour all the halls, man. Honestly, I feel like I'd be fine with anywhere. I think after living in Deg, everything's an upgrade at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would live in McGloin. Like, I think that location's like solid.
Yeah,
like, I
it
think
is.
it's like right in the middle of campus. You got the market right below you too, and I'm a big McGloin Market fan, so I wouldn't mind that. But I don't know. I've heard really good things about Davis. I've never seen the inside, but I've heard that that's good. Hyder, I gotta check out Hyder. Kennefic, I've heard Kennefic's a little inconvenient because it's out of the way, but I mean, I don't mind a walk, I guess, unless it's negative. But honestly, anywhere, I think I'd be okay living.
If you're a business student and like living in Kennefic, that wouldn't be too bad.
No, yeah, not at all. Like Harper's not too far away, so.
Just being an arts and science student and living in Kennefic sucks.
Dude, like walking all the way, to Epley, like, nah, it's not it. But
One of my RSP leaders is like that. I think he takes the Juddle. I could be wrong.
oh yeah,
To like 24th Street, which isn't even that far. Honestly, to think about, that's not even that far.
no, it's not. But when it gets too cold, you never know, I guess.
Yeah. I wonder if I bet the Juddle takes you there, but I bet they might take you like all the way around to like where Dowling is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that would be nice. Just like, right up there.
It's still like that parking lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be like the perfect spot, honestly.
Where are you thinking next year? If you thought about it. Davis, yeah.
Yeah.
You get your own room, right? Is that what it is? Okay.
Yeah. I think they're all like split up. Like you and your roommate get 2 separate rooms, and then like somehow I think there's like a middle room, and then a bathroom or something, and then like there's their 2 suite. I think they're suite mates. I could be wrong.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know for sure.
That sounds right.
Spread out. I remember McGloin only because like, did you go to summer preview?
Yeah.
Yeah, summer preview. You stayed in McGloin, and dude, McGloin didn't feel that bad.
No, I don't think it's bad. To be honest, I mean, the rooms are pretty big. You know what I'm saying?
It's livable.
Yeah.
Honestly, dude, I was thinking about it, and I'm like, with that middle room, I look, you could just do my podcast in there.
Dude, yeah, it's a good setup.
Yeah. I don't know how my suite mate or my roommate would feel about that. Though. Like, I was trying to think about that. I'm like, yeah, man, I don't know.
Just do it when they're out. Like,
yeah.
It would be nice because I don't think you'd get like too much background noise aside from like your roommates, suite mates. Like.
Yeah, for sure. Or I might just do it how I'm doing it now, and just do like classrooms or something.
Yeah, this is a nice setup right here. I like this.
Dude, if I got like a huddle room too, because those are completely soundproof.
Oh
you know
yeah.
What I mean?
Would that be enough space, do you think, to
I don't know.
set
There's
up?
some big huddle ones.
Yeah, that's true. In Harper, you're talking about?
Yeah, like in
Yeah.
Harper. I just don't like that they have windows.
Yeah.
People can look in, and it's pretty distracting.
Yeah, for
I've
sure.
had, like, my fair share. Like, if you guys go back and watch some of my older episodes, there was hella distractions. Especially, like, when I was, because my first episodes were in the car. I thought that was, like, the best way to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just sit in the car, and I'd have, like, 2 mics set up. No, not even mics, dude. I just had, like, what do you call those? Earbuds.
Oh yeah, talking
Just
into
had,
like the
some
thing.
Apple
Yeah.
earbuds plugged into my phone. Those are my mics.
Those actually aren't too bad, to be honest.
Yeah. Like it directs the sound pretty
Yeah.
well. But yeah, there was some background noise. There was a little background noise.
Less convenient too,
Yeah,
I
it was
think.
very. It was an easy setup, but like it wasn't quality at all. It wasn't very.
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah.
You've come a long way. No.
Definitely, yeah. My motto at the beginning was like, I'm not gonna spend money until like I know that this is gonna work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for
And
sure.
now,
Man.
like, it's come so far that.
It's inspiring, man. It's dope.
But let's get into you. Let's go back to like, talking about Riley. So what do you? I don't know. Okay, yeah. I know that you said that you're like a little indecisive. You don't know for sure, but you're kind of thinking about business. What do you want to do after you're done with school?
Man, it's a loaded question. I really just want to do something creative. Like, I like to be able to have creative control and be able to explore different ideas and try new things. Like, I like to just experiment, I guess, is one way to put it. And whether that be, through like media or whatever it is, I think that's why I'm thinking about going into business. Like, I feel like, marketing specifically, there's a lot of things you can do from a creative standpoint with that, which is super dope. Like, one of my uncles, he, worked for a long time with like commercial company, and he would come up with like the ideas for the commercials and stuff. And I always thought that was super dope. Like, that's, really creative, and he was able to, be able to tell people like, I came up with that. Like, I think that's a cool flex. And so that just seems really fun for me. But aside from like, I feel like career, I really just want to travel. Like, I want to see more of the world, like, go overseas and see different places. And I think like having a job that would allow you to do something like that would be like a gold mine. Like, that would be perfect, just to go, to different places and spots of the world. I think travel is really important. So something like that, I think,
Yeah, dude. I've always wanted to like. Have you left the country before?
I have, yeah, but not too often. Well, I was born overseas, actually.
Really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
my dad was in the military. He was in the army,
Oh, okay.
and then my mom was a teacher overseas. So I was born in Germany. But then after that, I hadn't left the country for a long time. But then I went to Vietnam, actually. Like, our school like had like this really crazy opportunity to go, and so I went like a little over a year ago, and it was amazing. Like, it really, travel really like opens your eyes, and you really get to see things through different perspectives and see how people are in different parts of the world. And it's just a blessing, to be honest. And it's just such a cool experience, trying new food and seeing different places and different like, buildings and cities and stuff like that. It's dope, and it's something that I don't want to take for granted in my life, kind of a thing. Like, I want to do it more.
Yeah, for sure, dude. Me too. I've only been to Canada. I think Canada's kind of lame.
Which part?
It was Ontario or something.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Just we drove from Illinois. We went north, and I think we went to New York. Because we went to see Niagara Falls, and we saw it from both sides.
Oh, that's dope.
So yeah, but yeah, it didn't feel like that. It just felt like America, like the U.S. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It wasn't. I want to see somewhere where there's like a lot to see. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe Europe or like Asia's like always cool.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to go to like Korea or like Japan, or, like places like that where there's like such a vastly different culture.
Yeah.
And obviously different people and all that, but
Different way of life.
yeah, where everything's different.
Yeah. I think I definitely want to study abroad, like, if I get the opportunity to. Like, I think that would be super dope.
Yeah, me too, honestly. Like when you grow up, where would you want to live? Would you want to stay here in Omaha or in Minnesota or somewhere else?
I feel like ultimately I want to end up back home, like just with Minnesota, because like my family's out there. I got a ton of family in Minnesota, and I really had a great time growing up there. And I think if I were to have a family in the future, I would definitely want to raise them there because I had such a great experience with it. It taught me a lot. You know, it's not perfect, and I think that's a big part of it, is that it's not like, you know, this amazing thing. And I think, you know, if you grow up like in the Midwest especially, like, you know, you get like crappy weather and that kind of stuff. And you got to get creative with what you do with your friends, bro. Like my friends and I would like go hang out at Target for fun, like stuff like that. You don't have like crazy stuff to do. So I feel like when you know, appreciate the little things like that, and then you go end up like going to the ocean or something like that, or like, you know, skiing in the mountains or whatever, you're able to appreciate it so much more, because before you were just like, you know, hanging out with your friends in the parking lot, and now you're like out here doing like super dope stuff. So I think, you know, growing up in the Midwest is a lot of fun. I had a great time. But honestly, just wherever my career takes me and what I need to do, like, I think I'd be happy living anywhere and just trying new things. But I think ultimately, yeah, going back home would be nice. But I don't mind Omaha. Like, I would definitely live here for a period of time, I think.
Yeah, like right now.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
Yeah, I understand that too. I never know where I want to live, dude. Like, I change my mind all the time.
Yeah.
I'd like living somewhere warm, to be honest, but like I'd live back in where I lived in Chicago.
Yeah.
And then like I think it was last summer, or the summer. I think it was 2 summers ago. We went to Puerto Rico, and I'm going back this summer, but I would live there, dude. Like,
Yeah.
Puerto Rico's so nice.
Dude, I bet.
It's also a lot less. I wouldn't say like less developed, but like there's certain problems with like crime and like stuff like that. So I mean, with my like criminal justice background, I could always work there. I think.
Yeah.
It'd be something I could do. But yeah, I think it'd be pretty like cool to live there.
Yeah.
Or obviously Illinois.
Yeah.
Or Omaha. But yeah, I'd see wherever life takes me.
Yeah, I think it would be cool to get, like, you know, live in, like, New York City, like, get that huge city experience, but then also get, like, you know, living in, like, the middle of nowhere or something, and then also living, like, somewhere overseas, like, getting all those different perspectives, and then, like, eventually coming back to, like, you know, to home or wherever.
Yeah.
I think that would be dope, because you'd have all this different perspective and stuff.
Or just, like, building your own, like, consensus of which one you like the most.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then going to live there.
Yeah. Having options would be nice. Like,
For
that's
sure,
like the dream, I think.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah. Okay, so I like to ask this question. Like when you think about your future, like all the things that you want, I know like a lot. Like, obviously, at our age, a lot of it's kind of like unclear. We don't really know exactly what we want.
Yeah.
But we have kind of like a vague vision. Do you foresee yourself having kids? Would you want to have kids in the future?
I would, yeah. I think having kids would be a blessing, like, and I would want my kids to have, like, siblings, since I grew up with so many siblings. Like, I realize the importance of that, and I think it would just be, like, extremely special, you know, to have, like, mini-me's running around, you know, kids, like, that would be super dope, I think. So, down the line, I would love to, yeah.
Yeah, honestly, I've always wanted kids, but I like to ask other people to get, like, their opinion and stuff.
Yeah.
I think it's important to have, like, to continue your family on.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
I know that's, like, kind of like a harsh way to think about it, but
no, yeah.
that's also the way that I think about it.
Yeah.
Or, like, as a legacy standpoint or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like, not as my duty, but, like, I kind of have to continue the family, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, yeah, I just want to see, like, my kids, like, continue or be better versions of me than
Yeah.
do my best job to get them there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's so special to like watch them grow up, you know what I mean? Like they're the only people that you can really like, see all the time and watch them develop and become their own person. Like, I've grown up alongside like my siblings, but when you grow up with them, I think it's different than watching somebody literally grow up. Like I think it would be cool to, like down the line, if when my kid's like 15, I can look at him or her or whoever like when and compare them to when I was 15 and see like the difference in it and just be like, dang, like how it is. And I think that's a beautiful thing, just to watch somebody grow up like that. Like that's really special.
Yeah, I think so too, honestly, bro. I want to ask, like, what kind of, like, let's say you do have kids. What kind of sports or things would you want them to do? I'm not saying they have to do it, but like, what would you like them to do?
Well, I was really fortunate as a kid where my parents enrolled me into like all sports, like had me try all different kind of things. Like I was playing like park soccer, baseball, like basketball, hockey, like all these different little things. I think I would want my kids I would want to put them into like, I hope I'm in a position where I can put them into all different kinds of things so then they can figure it out on their own and try things. But I think it would be important to have them at least try a team sport for a period of time, because I think having that teamwork and it helps you develop relationships with people and work with other people, and you can get angry and sad and upset but happy and joyous. Like you get to experience all these different kinds of emotions no matter what level you're playing at. And I think that's an important thing. It builds a ton of character in you, and it creates bonds with people that you'll have forever. Because I look back at like kids that I played on a team with years ago, and we still reminisce on it and share memories and experiences, and I think that's super beautiful, and that's an awesome thing. But then I think also giving them the individual sport perspective too would be cool. Like, I ran track, and it's a team sport, but it's also pretty individual because you're running on your own. And I think that's, taught me a lot as well. It taught me different things than, playing on like a hockey team did or on a soccer team. Like it really helps you compare to the things, but also learn different things too.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I like that. Because I don't normally think about that. I normally just hate on team sports, to be honest. But I do like that idea of like teaching, or not teaching them, but allowing them to bond with other kids that share like similar memories about like, oh, we were in this soccer team like 10 years ago. Do you remember me? Oh yeah, do you remember that one game? Yeah, dude, that was so much fun. I like that. I like that whole concept. That's so cool.
Yeah.
And then same with like not like non-team sports, individual sports. I like those ones because those are the ones where like you can build yourself up, and you learn a lot about yourself through those kind of sports.
Yeah.
That's why I like combat sports and like and also like running and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So okay, do you yourself plan on like doing sports or like staying active, being fit like for the rest of your life?
Dude, that's a huge goal for me, is just to stay healthy and continue to work on myself. I don't want to reach a point where I just completely let myself go. That's like my fear.
It's so sad.
Where it's like I see like an old friend or something, they're like, dang man, like what happened to you? That's like I'm afraid of something like that happening. Like that would keep me up at night, I think. And so I want to just stay involved, and like I was saying earlier, like being part of like a team or even just an individual sport, like it teaches you a lot. And I think even when you're 40, 50, 60, like you still learn things along the way. And so I think just like being part of like a random rec sport team or whatever, or playing in some league at some random place, I think that is something I could definitely see myself doing and would love to be a part of, because you get to meet more people too. It's a lot of networking and just a good experience overall. But also just going to the gym regularly, I definitely want to continue with that. And I think that if I also have kids in the future, that could be a good representation for them and show them like the importance of it, kind of.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. Growing up with like my dad, he plays basketball all the time. That's his number one hobby, I would say.
Yeah.
But yeah, like so obviously I played a lot of basketball when I was little, but it was something where like, I'm not gonna say all my other friends' dads were unhealthy, but my dad was very fit. Like he was very like athletic, and he could jump high. He could lift a lot of weight.
Yeah.
Like he was also pretty. He's still kind of stocky. But yeah, like I think that's important because like when you have kids and they look at you and they're like, oh, like they kind of look at you like as a superhero because like you've built yourself up and you're strong and you're healthy and all of this, and it's like they look up to you.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's important.
Yeah, and I think it's good too to get into the routine like while you're younger too. Like I'm thankful I have like a routine, and at college especially you have like the time to go to the gym and develop a consistent plan to follow. And I think when you start when you're younger, it'll just continue to go when you're older, because I think the older you get, you start to get busy, and especially if you have kids and a family, things start to pile up.
Yeah.
I think if you can develop a routine when you're younger, it can continue to go on. And I don't necessarily know what my life will be like and how much time I'll have, but I think if I'm stuck in the mindset where it's like I should get some exercise today and work on my health, that'll be a priority for me in my future, and that could be that's what I want and what I want for my kids too. So
yeah. I like that a lot. Okay, here's some I've got some deeper questions kind of.
Yeah.
Just to kind of speculate, theorize.
Yeah.
Just to see what you gotta say.
Absolutely.
Why do you think that we become so obsessed with sports? Whether it be football, basketball, or any sport. What do you think it is in us that makes us like sports?
I would say a big part of it is I think it's a huge part of identity and your character. I think growing up playing different sports, like I was saying earlier, it teaches you so many different things and helps you develop all these specific traits. And I think when you get older and you maybe don't play those sports anymore, you still have those traits on a regular basis on a day-to-day life, and you can always kind of connect them back to the sport that you had played. And I think that's a big part of it is it's such a character builder. Whatever kind of sport it is, it doesn't matter if it's individual, a team sport, if you were insane at it, played at a professional level, or if you just kind of played for fun, whatever it is, you develop these certain characteristics about yourself that you maybe wouldn't have got any other way. And I think that that's a big part of it is it's just such a big part of your identity and your character. And I think that's why us as humans become so invested in it and invested in stuff like that. And then I think, when people are such big fans of professional sports on a professional level, I think a big part of it is that you take so much pride in, rooting for a specific team and rooting for, a lot of the time it's the team that is your home team, from your city. I always think about I'm a Vikings fan because I'm from Minnesota, and I take so much pride in that. I think I've taken more pride in it here because I'm surrounded by a bunch of people that are from different areas, and I can say that's home for me. That's a big part of me. That's part of who I am, and that team, represents where I'm from, kind of a thing. And I think that's a beautiful thing is that we have this community builder with the professional sports, no matter what kind of sport it is. And I think that the older you get, the more invested you get in it because you maybe don't play it as much anymore, but you can always watch your team and be like, oh man, that's part of who I am. That team is really important to me.
Yeah, no, I like that analysis actually. That's I wasn't expecting that. I like that pride thing. I didn't even think about that. But yeah, for me, I look at it because if you watch somebody like Usain Bolt,
yeah,
or these people that are performing at the top of a specific sport, I think of it like this: they're peak human potential, and being able to see people that are the best of the best.
Yeah,
that's interesting to watch.
Yeah,
that's fun to watch. You don't see things like that very often.
Yeah.
And I think that's what interests me, and I think that's what interests a lot of people, because if you're just some regular dude watching football on your TV, those people have been training their whole lives just to just to play football or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
On it, like, in itself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
It's insanely inspiring, I think, you know, like watching that kind of stuff. And I love like a good underdog story too, like all that kind of stuff, you know, all those like there's all those sports movies out there, you know, like Miracle on Ice, like based on a true story. Like it's just so motivating for yourself. And you know, I watch it and I'm not necessarily thinking like, oh, I want to go be the best basketball player ever, I want to go be the best hockey player. It's like I want to be the best in whatever I do, but watching their mindset really inspires you because you can apply that mindset to anything, you know, your business or your brand or your relationships with people, that kind of a stuff. It's a beautiful thing, and you don't necessarily get that anywhere else. And so I think that's it's definitely
for sure
a dope thing.
And I want to go back to like the pride thing, and I kind of want to tie it into music as well.
Yeah,
Because I know I always do this, and I'm not actually like, I'm from the suburbs of Chicago. I'm not actually from Chicago. But like one of the things, like when people ask me what kind of music I always tell them I like rap from Chicago or something like that. Because people know I like Juice WRLD. Like I'm a big Juice WRLD fan. But I also like other people from Chicago. You know, like Lil Durk and like I was a big King Von fan. I liked him before he died too. Not many people could say that, but like people like that. Which I mean, they're not the best like role models at all. But even Kanye West, like Kanye West is from Chicago. Like we had a lot of like huge superstars come from Chicago.
Yeah.
Even Polo G. I'll say Polo G.
Polo G, yeah.
But I take pride in the fact that like we have had so many people come from like where I came from, kind of.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's super inspiring because you kind of grew up, you know, similar environment kind of a thing, or just not even that, but just like the area. That's like super motivating for yourself, I think. Like for Minnesota, like Prince, you know, one of the biggest artists there ever was. Yeah. He's from Minnesota. So to watch somebody that's so big, well, rest in peace, he was so popular and inspiring and just changed music as a whole. To take so much pride in where he's from too, you know, to represent it. Like he lived in Minnesota, like even when he was this huge superstar. It was just so inspiring to see like somebody just pay so much to respect to where you're from and be like, oh, like that's so dope, like that's part of me, like that's part of who I am, and he's really like doing that. So
it's like embracing it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's always good to see, dude.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I want to. Oh shoot. What did I say I wanted to get back to earlier? Something about music, right? I think it was. Oh man, I can't remember
specifically, but we were talking about music.
Okay, I want to ask, because I don't know if I've asked this specifically on this podcast. I know I asked one of my friends, but what do you think it is about music? Because I know music is something where like it can alter your emotions, or it can add on to emotions. It can make you feel certain ways and stuff like that. Why do you think music has that kind of power?
I think a big part of it is that artists, and I'm thinking, you know, the artists that you really connect to, they can say things, they put things into words that you've never ever thought that you could hear that, and it relates to you, you know, it speaks to you. Because music is such a strong form of poetry. And so a lot of time, like, you know, I love hip-hop, I love rap because of specifically because of the writing. Like, there's some really strong writing in hip-hop, and there are just certain songs where I listen to it and I'm like, man, like, what they're saying right now is just they're so powerful to me. Like, what they're saying, I've never heard anybody put it this way and phrase it like that, and it just resonates with you. And then I also think, like, sound can go such a long way in a weird way. Like, there are certain times I'll hear like a beat or something and I'll be like, why does this sound so nostalgic to me? Or why does this give me like this certain feel? Like, why do I feel like I'm about to fall in love with somebody? Or why do I feel like this song sounds like windows down, driving on the highway, summertime? You know, you get that certain feel from that you couldn't get through anything else. And so I think just like that's what music does, is it you know, whether it be through the writing or through the sounds, you'll hear it and I'll be like, nothing's ever been able to make me feel this way in my whole life. And I think that's what really sticks with me, at least, is that feeling.
I think that's such a crazy thing. That, like, literally just sound can do that.
Yeah.
Not many things can. I think maybe movies can. I know I talked about that a little bit with Jesse, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But it's such a crazy thing to think about.
Yeah.
Because literally, I was like breaking this down with one of my friends, and I'm like, dude, if you think about what music is and what songs are, it's literally just like humans. No, it starts with us making sound with our mouth, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It starts with us making noises, because what sound? It's just noise, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's organized noise, because we're communicating. We're just talking. Okay, now we're talking.
Yeah.
We're talking with a rhythm. We're talking on a, and then there's something else in the background now. So there's sound, there's more noise, and it's getting organized into beats. It's getting organized into like, now it's music.
Yeah.
So it's literally just noise on noise when you break it all down.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
It's insane when.
It's so crazy. And then the fact that those two noises, going back and forth, are able to make you feel a certain way.
Yeah.
I think that's just wild.
It's crazy, and it can make you feel everything. Like there are certain songs I listen to, and I'll be like, I'll get so emotional to it, or it's like I have this attachment to it. Or other songs where I listen to it, I'm like, this is so hard. Like I could mosh pit to this. Like it's so dope how it hits every single side. It makes you feel all different kinds of things, and there's no limit to it either. Like I feel like every year, like I'll always hear some kind of a song where I'm like, I've never heard anything like this in my life, and that continues to happen. It's ridiculous, and it's constantly evolving, which is super awesome.
Yeah, it's so crazy because I know, like I said, I listen to a lot of Juice WRLD, and I think one of the things that like he does and a lot of other artists do is when they're feeling a certain way,
Mm-hmm.
they put that into their music. Like they're able to like just pour out their emotion into the song.
Yeah.
And I think that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's also wild.
Yeah.
Because like maybe he's experiencing heartbreak, and now he's making a song about heartbreak, and now everyone feels like, oh man, this is so sad. Like
Yeah.
I'm experiencing, like maybe they're listening while they're having a heartbreak, and it makes them think like, oh, other people are going through what I'm going through.
Yeah.
Or other songs that are happy. I don't know, but there's an artist making a song like feeling just like happy about life or whatever,
Yeah.
I think that's just
Yeah, like
the variety of genres and emotions that they're able to reach.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
Yeah, it's dope. Music's like a therapy in its own way, man. Like I think there are times where everyone has their down moments, or where they're going through something difficult, or even not that, even if they're doing okay. Like there are times where you'll just hear a certain song and you'll just be like, man, like I really resonate with this. Like this is really helping me out, and it does a lot, it says a lot about how powerful it is. I think.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
I think so too. Yeah, that's crazy, bro. I have a few more random questions I want to ask.
Yeah.
Do you mind? I don't know how much time you have. I don't want to take too much
No,
time, but I'll ask
I got
like
time.
maybe 2 or 3 more
Okay, bet.
total. This could go any direction. So
All right.
what things do you believe exist that other people might not believe exist? And I want to leave it vague, so you can answer however you want.
That's okay. That I believe exists that most people don't believe.
Or not most, but some.
Some, okay. I think about this from time to time, but I feel like there are people that are like low key like a superhero. Like they got something, like they got some like supernatural type of thing. Like, I'm not necessarily saying that there are people out there that can fly. I'm not saying that there aren't, but like, I'm just saying like, I think there are people out there that just have like just a crazy trait. People that can answer like ridiculous, like what's 1 billion times whatever, and they can just say it. Like I do think there might be people out there that can do that kind of stuff, and it sounds ridiculous, but I think about it from time to time where I'm like, maybe Stan Lee wasn't too off. Maybe there are people like this out there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't know.
Have you ever seen like those videos of like exactly like you're saying, where they can calculate stuff?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen like videos of that and just be like, oh my gosh, it's like the Avengers. Yeah, I know I've done that. Like because there's like the human calculator that's out there,
Mm-hmm.
and then I think who else was there that's like able to do stuff like that? Like there's a one guy that can recall like a specific, if you ask him like the specific day, like a date, he can remember like what the weather was.
Yeah.
And just tell you, oh yeah, it was sunny. It was about like 42 degrees.
Yeah.
And you can go like on the internet, search up that day, and he'll be spot on.
Yeah.
It's called savant syndrome. Have you heard of it?
There's a thing for it?
Yeah, it's
okay.
called savant syndrome. It's like it's on the spectrum of like autism.
Okay.
But they have like one specific thing that they're exceedingly talented at.
Okay, yeah.
Not many people can reach it. It's like a really high IQ too, I think.
Yeah, that's
I
crazy.
learned about it in psych a long time ago.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, that's crazy. Have you ever seen Rain Man? Movie Rain Man?
No.
It's Tom Cruise. It's kind of like that. It's like with a guy who has autism, but he has like really good memory. Like he's just really, really smart. And so
those are the ones that I'm like jealous of, dude.
yeah, it's crazy, but I totally think like, and I was thinking about like just magicians, some magicians out there, like I know it's magic, but there are some times where they do things where I'm like, that's just impossible. Yeah, I'm like, how is that? There's like this Rubik's Cube magician that's crazy. Like there's just certain things like that where I'm like, that just can't be real.
Yeah,
so.
For sure, dude. I feel like Rubik's Cube is one of the things that I could never figure out.
I tried, man.
There's the one on like America's Got Talent where he puts it in his mouth and takes it out and it's solved.
Yeah.
Dude, how?
Like that's,
how?
yeah.
Like, yeah, that's a superpower, bro.
That's what I was saying,
Yeah.
man. Like that's crazy.
The one that like you mentioned before, photographic memory is like my favorite one.
Yeah.
I swear if I had that, bro, it'd be crazy. Have you seen Psych, the show?
I know what it is.
Yeah,
I've never
dude,
seen
that's
it.
such a fun show because he uses like his photographic memory to be a psychic detective, to pretend like he's a psychic detective, and he just like walks around the crime scene and he notices like everything in the room, and he's able to solve a crime like instantly.
It's crazy.
Yeah, he's like, oh, but he'll like solve it, and then we'll be like, he'll start doing some weird shit like he's a psychic. He'll be like, oh, I see him walking in. And you're like, what's bro doing?
Yeah.
I don't know, but it's such a funny thing.
Yeah,
I love that show.
That's dope.
Okay, so yeah, we covered that. What do you think of like? Okay, I want to ask this one actually.
All right, bet.
Have you heard of like Mandela effects? Because I don't think I've ever talked about it on my podcast.
I have heard of them. Yeah.
Can you like remember any? Which ones do you know about?
I remember. So Mandela effect is where you believe you thought something was there, but it actually wasn't. I heard that like Curious George, the tail thing. You hear about that? Yeah. It's that he doesn't have a tail, right? That's what it is?
Yeah, he doesn't have a tail.
Yeah, that spooked me out when I first learned about that.
Yeah, a lot of people. So yeah, it's for people that don't know. I know you kind of mentioned it briefly, but a Mandela effect is where you remember something very, very like a very specific detail about something, and then, but in reality, that's not actually true.
Yeah.
Like it didn't actually happen that way, or it didn't actually look that way.
Yeah.
So yeah, what you said is with Curious George.
Yeah, yeah.
If for those that can remember Curious George, a lot of people remember him having a tail.
Yeah.
But in reality, he never had one.
Yeah.
And you can look it up too, which is pretty scary.
It's weird. Like, why did our minds do that? You know what I mean? Like.
There's the one with you know the Fruit of the Loom.
Yeah.
And the cornucopia.
Oh wait. What's the effect?
Yeah. So a lot of people remember Fruit of the Loom having a cornucopia. But in reality, it literally never did.
Oh,
see, look,
what?
Fact check.
That's crazy.
But it never did. And the other thing is, there was this lady that remembered it because a lot of people support her, obviously, because she's saying it had a cornucopia.
Yeah.
It did. It always had one. I don't know what you guys are talking about. And then, so I think she was in an argument with Fruit of the Loom on Twitter or something,
Mm-hmm.
and Fruit of the Loom sent all of their logos throughout history, and it literally never had it.
That's crazy. That's insane.
And so, I think it got to the point where she was like looking through all of her clothes trying to find one.
Mhm.
I think she found one.
Really?
I think there's a video of her finding one, and it had a cornucopia on it. And she's like, see, and then like everyone was like looking at it like, what the fuck? And I don't remember how Fruit of the Loom responded, but all I know is that she started like her own brand. She called it Fruit of the Loom and started using the logo with the cornucopia. And she's saying that if Fruit of the Loom sues her, it's proof that it always it had the cornucopia at one point.
Wow.
Because otherwise the logo doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
Like it's not the same logo, so she can't.
That's crazy, dude. Like, if I were in her shoes, I would be tripping out. Like,
yeah,
I would.
I'm surprised she took it that far. And like that's some commitment.
Yeah, dude.
She must have been so mad about it for some reason.
She has trust issues now,
Yeah.
man. That's, I've heard. Have you ever heard of the like double stuff Oreo one? Like, people like the F in double stuff. There's only one F. I heard about that.
I
Like,
think that's actually like they use that for. Okay, I'll use this as an example too. You know Fruit Loops?
yeah.
It's spelled Froot.
Oh yeah.
That's a thing where they use that because it's artificial fruit, so they can't call it actual fruit.
Oh.
So I think it's the same thing with stuff, because stuff is like its own thing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how to explain it. It's its own like freaking frosting or whatever.
Yeah,
that they
yeah.
add in the cookie.
Okay.
That, like if they put like stuff, it would be something different. I don't know how it was, but I think that's how they got around it.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
It's all like, I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah.
It's all like labeling. They have to. These companies need to be like really careful how they label certain things,
Yeah.
or else it's like a lawsuit.
Yeah.
Someone
Yeah.
can sue them if it's not this. You know what I mean?
Right.
They have to cut corners by taking away an F.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
I always thought that was strange. I thought that was just like some marketing thing, but now that you
Yeah.
explain it, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I get that.
There's also, I mean, with Mandela effects, there's what was it? Oh, Pikachu and his tail. You know Pikachu's tail?
Yeah.
With the like brown thing. I forgot what it's called or what the example was. I'm gonna look it up real quick.
Oh, like the little
Pikachu.
line in it?
Yeah, his tail. Yeah, tail Mandela effect. Dude, yeah, because everyone remembers it having like the black thing at the end, I think.
Oh,
But
is it not
actually-
there?
It actually never did.
What?
It's down here. Isn't that wild?
That's really weird, dude.
Yeah. Because I always remembered it having it, and I think like I remember as a kid, because I would draw sometimes. I remember drawing it with one too.
Dude, why do we like? Why does our mind like think? Like
Yeah.
why do we think that? It's weird. It's interesting.
There's a lot of people think that like we obviously it's a conspiracy theory, but a lot of people think that we fell into like another reality, like it's an altered timeline or something.
Oh, yeah.
So we remember things from our past timeline, but not like the actual one, like the one that we're in now or something. You know what I mean?
Oh, weird.
Isn't that wild?
That's really weird.
And then
That's trippy.
there's also this other thing where they remember, or they think that it's like, it supports like a simulation theory, where like, oh, there's a new update in the simulation.
Weird, dude.
Yeah, isn't
That's-
that weird? It's hard to wrap your head around. I
Dude.
can't. I don't know. It's scary. It's scary. Though.
Yeah, that is.
Does like reality ever scare you like that?
Like that. It could be like a simulation type of thing.
Yeah, and stuff like that. Or
Um.
like Mandela effects. Just the idea kind of scares me.
Yeah, the Mandela effects are weird. Like, I don't know. There's like little stuff here and there where I'm just like, just tripped out kind of, or I'll be like, what is going on? I have existential crises sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Like, there are times where I'll like look in the mirror too long and I'll be like I'm a human being. Yeah, I'll be like, what is going on? Like, where I'm literally out of my body. It's really, it's scary, dude. And I'll have those moments where I'm like, I'm really a human being right now. Like, this is where I'm at. And it doesn't sound that crazy, but there are moments where I'm like, I get way too deep into it and I'm like, damn. Like,
it's like, I can't believe I'm myself.
Yeah.
You walk into the mirror and it's like almost like you're expecting to see someone else.
Yeah,
it's
dude.
So weird. I don't know how to explain that feeling.
Dude.
It's so weird, dude.
It's crazy.
I've had that though.
Yeah.
I remember, especially if I spend too much time alone, I'll have severe existential crises.
Yeah, dude.
And just thinking about like reality and all of this.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
Dude.
But the one thing I will say, I know I like to talk about religion a lot. Once I focus on like believing in God and Christianity and all that, once I do that, it normally sorts everything out. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, God made me. That's the way I'm supposed to be. All of that.
Yeah.
That's normally what helps for me.
Yeah. No, for sure. Sometimes I have moments where I think about like how different my life would be if I was just somebody completely different. Like if I was living, if I had a different family, if I lived somewhere somewhere else, like just how different everything would be. And I think those moments are definitely the moments where I kind of sit back and I'm like, I'm pretty blessed. I've been able to have the life that I have. And then usually that'll help me get back on track. And I'll just be like, all right, we got to chill out for a second.
Yeah,
like, it's all right.
Sure. Yeah. And I don't know. I feel like it's kind of weird when people don't have those like existential crises.
I feel like everyone does. Yeah.
It makes me feel like they're like NPCs. Are you real, dude?
Mm-hmm.
You actually... That makes me question it more if they're not, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I hear you.
But for sure, dude, like, sometimes reality just does scare me. It just really does.
Yeah.
Like, especially, like, last week, I was walking around, I finished studying in the library at, like, I would say, like, 11 p.m. or something.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I'm gonna go for a walk. And dude, I walked through Epley and I went through what's it called? Listen Lead.
Yeah.
And I walked through Chris, and I didn't even know that. Like, I've never been inside Chris.
Mm-hmm.
And dude, it's like it wasn't dark, but like it's the fact that like the hallways are empty and there's no one there, and I don't think there was anyone in the entire building. And
That's
it's just like
spooky.
The thought, it like settles in that like there's nobody in this building or that building or this building.
Yeah.
And I'm the only one here. I'm just walking around.
Yeah.
That settles in, and I'm like, dude, I'm not saying I would, but if I died here, like, or if something happened, like, I'd be screwed.
Yeah.
That's the shit that gets me afraid of the dark sometimes.
Dude. Yeah. That's like, that reminds me of like driving home late at night or something. Yeah. Like if you're like the only car on the highway or something, you know what I'm saying? Like that is spooky. Like that is weird. Like I always have like the worst thought imaginable. Like I accidentally drive into a ditch and I'm just screwed on the side of the road or something, something crazy like that. So.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
But yeah.
Those are scary, dude.
Yeah.
Like you hear those like unsolved mysteries and stuff.
Oh
I
my.
love those, but like
yeah.
When you hear stories about someone going into a room and not coming out or stuff like that, like the person just disappears.
Yeah.
That's what I get afraid of, because I'm like, what if I'm
yeah.
what if that happens to me and I'm just walking through Chris and like
yeah,
just, like, looking around and I never come back.
Dude, those are so spooky, like the missing people where it's like they're still missing and it's like how? Like yeah, like it's like it's scary, man. I always, whenever I listen to like those podcasts or whatever, I keep getting these clips on TikTok and I'm like, sure. I don't want to watch it, but I can't turn away type of thing. And I watch the whole thing. And then the next thing I know, the next time I'm alone, I'm always thinking like, what if someone just comes in here and takes me or something? It's like, ugh.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, I think I'm going to wrap this up actually.
I bet.
I'm going to do a quick summary to go over like what we talked about. So we started with like talking about how your classes were going in the semester and all of that. Then we talked about like where you grew up, your hometown, your childhood, and then we moved into high school, talking about like what sports you did, what you like to do, and stuff like that. And then your friends that came to Creighton and like all that stuff. We talked about like your plans for the future and all of that. How you kind of wanted to go into business, and then we talked about Deglman a little bit.
Yeah.
And ping pong.
Of course.
And then we talked about more future. You know what I mean? We talked about where you would want to live, and then having kids, and then sports eventually. Why sports exist, and then music. We fell into music somehow. Forgot how I did that. And then Mandela effects, and then existential crisis. Dude,
Life.
I love talking about that. Like, that's one of my.
That was a good combo, man.
Yeah, honestly, dude, it's the existential crisis and then simulation theory that like those are my favorite things.
Yeah.
Those and dreams, I love talking.
Dude,
about.
dreams.
They're so much fun to talk about.
Dude.
Because they don't make any sense.
They're crazy. Yeah.
For sure, dude. So normally when I end the podcast, I like to ask for advice. So if you have any advice you'd want to give to the audience that are listening to this episode.
Man, I would say I heard this quote recently. When it comes to doing what you want to do, living the life that you want to live, if you give something your all, you can live with the outcome. So whatever you do, try as hard as you can, put your best into everything, give it your full effort, and if the outcome, isn't necessarily the result that you were looking for, you can at least live with it because you know that you tried your hardest. So just continue to put everything that you can, because if you try, if you half-ass something and you don't put everything into it, you'll know that you did that, and then the outcome will come and you'll be a little upset. So just continue to put everything into it. And my favorite quote, I think, of all time is by Maya Angelou, and it's like, I'm gonna botch it, but it's along the lines of like, people will forget what you said, they'll forget what you did, but they'll never forget how you made them feel, type of thing. And it's like an elementary school type quote, but I think I always think about it and just always try to treat people with like the utmost respect and be kind and treat everybody, with respect, like I was saying, because people will always remember that and it'll resonate with them. So be a good person and put your best in everything. I'd say that's my advice.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot, because looking back at like your life and all the different people that you've interacted with, and just think like trying to make it so that it's not negative. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so like you're impacting a lot of people in a positive way. That's always a good thing.
Yeah.
And like the other thing you said about giving it your all, you're never gonna regret.
Yeah.
Something your all, even if you don't like it. You're like, oh, at least I didn't half-ass this. You know what I mean?
Yeah. 100%, man.
So I like that. I think a lot of people can learn from that. A lot of people can learn from this episode, honestly, like from your experiences and your viewpoints, honestly. And then eventually, I think they could have been definitely interested in like our conversations at the end. They were pretty interesting.
Yeah, no, that was dope.
Think about.
Yeah.
But yeah, for sure. So I want to thank you for hopping on this episode.
Bro, thanks for having me, man. This was awesome. Appreciated it.
Thank you guys for listening to this episode of the Goal Swole Podcast. If you guys enjoyed this episode, make sure to drop a like. And if you plan on listening to any future episodes, make sure to subscribe and click that notification button.